in Nome, and the camera's facing the wrong way. Oh, wrong way again. Look at me. I'm like Mr. Fumble Fingers as soon as I hit the button. Hey guys, yeah. So I'm Nome. I have made dinner. My roommates are out watching the football game, so I got a little bit of time here. Before that, I just got done. Hey there, who are you? Itamar Tours. Hey, nice to see you there. I don't recognize the names, but yeah, I'm glad you showed up. Either way, I just got done filming my weekly weight loss update. That took a little bit of time, a little bit frustrating because I'm not in my element. I'm used to being in my kitchen in Wasilla. It's an interesting kitchen, I think, at least. So it gives a little bit more dynamic than this place here. This isn't very, like I got this mattress behind me. It's an apartment in Nome, Alaska, and I got it for work. So I'm just happy to be in an apartment instead of a man camp. I would have been miserable staying in a man camp. So next year, me and my wife are talking about moving up here. So after the school year is over, we have to carefully figure out how to move all our stuff up here. We also have several cats. We got to figure that out too. Everything can't come at once. I would like to get one of my vehicles up here before I even get here. So I need to ship probably my yellow Jeep is going to come up first. But when I get home, I'm going to start working on that. Oh yeah, ribeye steak, man. That's boss food right there. Yum. And I got some eggs over easy. Look, guys, I've been thriving on this diet here. I've been losing weight since I've been up here. I've been able to focus on my diet up here because I don't have any family. I don't have a pantry full of a bunch of stuff, just random off the wall type stuff. No processed foods here. I've just been eating 100% all natural type foods and loving it. I wake up every morning about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm off to work about 5:15. I'm helping everybody at work get their trucks ready, get them going. I mean, it's been great, and I do all that with only a cup of coffee in the morning. I don't eat breakfast, I don't eat lunch, and I don't snack throughout the days. The only thing I will do is drink water, and then I come home and eat something like this. Now, once I'm done, I do the dishes, take a shower, I head off to bed. Unfortunately, tonight I got to start working on a video. Trying to get that weekly weight loss update on there, because so far I haven't really missed any weeks of posting videos about my weight loss result. And a year and a half ago, I was 435 pounds, and there's a lot of that guy that's gone. I mean, I still got a little chub. I got the man boobs going on, but other than that, I'm getting a lot smaller. My head has shrunk tremendously. I have to keep readjusting my eyeglasses because my head keeps getting smaller. I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently it is, because I used to have this big fat shelf on the back of my head. That's gone. But I'm starting to think before I get out of Nome that I'm going to look really woodsy. The last thing I think about is shaving up here. I don't have anybody to impress. We're not dealing with any type of customers or anything. We're just literally hauling gravel back and forth, building a big giant pad for the hospital. That way they can put other buildings on top of that for patient housing. And it takes a lot of gravel to build a pad up here. Hi, Don. Appreciate you jumping in there. Yep, we're having dinner after work. So we gained a roommate since I've been here. So there was 3 of us that came up. One of the guys came up, and he was put up in a hotel directly across from my Aka's house. And I was hoping that when I got shipped up here, I was going to be in that hotel too. That way I could just, every night, I could just walk out the door, go across the street, and I'm in Aka's house for dinner, or at least visiting. But I'm across town. It's not that far. I go over there quite frequently to check on her and see how she's doing. She loves my little random visits, and we have a lot of great conversations. She speaks English, but she doesn't speak like really fluently. So sometimes she has a little bit of trouble trying to understand, me, because I talk pretty quickly. And, she says that a lot. She's like, looks at me, she's like, I don't understand. And so I have to come up with a different way of trying to ask a question or say something so she'll understand it. And you can kind of tell. She speaks really good native. She's been native her whole life. Like I said, she grew up on King Island, of all places. That's a crazy place. I mean, the whole island is like the homes that were there were built on the cliffs. It just fascinates me that somebody would decide to move way out there and live on cliffs. Now they had berries to live off of, several different type of land berries that grew on King Island. She was telling me a story yesterday that they go out and hunt seals. Now the men would go out and hunt. The women would typically stay at home. They'd take care of the womanly duties, either the cleaning, the cooking, the processing of whatever the hunt was when it got back, the preparation of whatever the hunt was. So they would get walrus, sometimes polar bear, whatever bears that were around, caribou, moose if they could find them, just whatever. For me, there was a lot of fish in her diet, but that's how they lived. They already were doing the carnivore diet. The only addition was like fruits and berries. That's it. Whatever was growing on the ground. So they have low-lying cranberries up here. They have blueberries. They have some type of raspberry, like a salmon berry or something like that. But then when they would make those berries up, I just found this out yesterday because she had a thing of reindeer fat sitting on the floor. I couldn't recognize it. If it was sitting in my house, I would have assumed it was like dog food. But I was like, what is that sitting over there? And she said it was reindeer fat. And I said, what are you going to do with that? And she's like, oh, we're going to clean it up and, kind of melt it down. They typically use it for all kinds of things. They can use it for cooking. They can also make something called, they just call it berries. They just call it berries. But there's a slang for it. It's called like Eskimo ice cream. So the first time I heard of Eskimo ice cream, it was made with Crisco and berries. Well, that's not really the right way to do that. That's the way to do that if you run out of animal fat. So if you have moose fat or you have caribou fat, reindeer fat, basically you mix the berries in with the fat, and that's what they were eating. So they were getting the antioxidants from the berries, plus they were getting all the energy and all the nutrition that came out of the natural fat of the animal. And that surprised me. So like, I guess that was, I got to ask, I got to double check. I just assumed that's what Eskimo ice cream came from. And then she went on to tell me a long story about how her mom would do all of this cooking and stuff on a Eskimo lantern. I don't know what an Eskimo lantern is. I forgot to Google search it or try to figure it out or ask another elder because she didn't really explain what it was. So I was just in awe. Hey there, Natish 928. Nice to see you there. So you eat salt in breakfast? I do not eat breakfast, but I use salt. I use salt all the time. And this is my dinner. So I'm doing OMAD. So I only eat once a day. So that means no breakfast, no lunch. I don't eat any snacks throughout the day. I just drink electrolytes and water, and that's it. And I noticed lately, since I've been doing this for a while, this diet for a while, and having such great success, I don't really need as many, what do they call those, vitamins? Because I get a lot of the vitamins and nutrition from the meat, and the vitamins that I might be missing, I'll take those, like the magnesium and zinc, maybe some D3s, but everything else is provided in the meat. Now, if I didn't want to take vitamins, I'd simply eat a can of sardines. That's full of vitamins and nutrition. Or I'd eat animal organs, things like liver and heart, provide the rest. So then I wouldn't have to worry about taking anything over there. But it all works out. I haven't made eggs in several nights. I've been basically just eating steak and a couple reindeer sausage, and that's all I've been eating. Tom from MySpace. Nice to see you there, Tom from MySpace. Oh, Michelle, were you the one that she was talking about? She said that you guys were either having breakfast or dinner. I mentioned that in my weekly update, by the way. But yeah, I was excited to hear that. I've had a lot of great carnivore type discussions here like even in the grocery store, people see what I'm buying because I go in there every couple of days. I buy food for 3 days and then go back in there. And they look at me, they're like, every time you come in here, you buy ribeye steak and maybe some reindeer sausage or some eggs. What else do you eat? I told them, I said, I eat traditional Alaskan food. And they're like, how is that traditional Alaskan food? I said, because it's only animal products. And then eyes light up. They're like, what? I said, your Aka and your Appa taught you all of this when you were growing up. And they probably stopped teaching you this because they got tired of telling you that you need to stop eating that crap food at the store. But so many people here are addicted to it and they don't even realize it. And sometimes if you bring it up, they feel insulted, like you're fat shaming them. It's like, no, I really love you and I don't want you to die early or get diabetes. I want you to be healthy, happy, and live your life. But you continue to eat garbage food that was created in a scientific laboratory just to get you addicted so you eat more of it. And now you're gaining weight. And now you have diabetes or now you have cancer. It's like, well, yeah, that's nuts. But yeah, it's good to see you there, Michelle. I was trying to, piece the puzzle together, and I thank you there. Well, I know it's over 150 pounds since I got here. I didn't lose it all since I got here, but overall in the weight loss journey, I've lost over 150 pounds. I'm guessing by the time I get home, I'll have at least 160 pounds off the bone, maybe more. I'm really gaining on that 235 goal weight. I mean, so yeah, I'm guessing if I were to weigh myself right now, I'd be about 175 pounds because I was 180 the last time I went to my Aka's house, but I don't trust the scale 100%. So I don't really know where I'm going to be sitting at, but I know I'm not eating garbage food. I have no distractions. So there's only one direction here, which is losing weight. I mean, that's it. I mean, I'm eating healthy, nutritious eggs. Oh, did you guys hear about the recall on eggs? It's like going on all over the country. And it just makes me really not want to have processed food. There's also another recall on cantaloupes I heard about. And people are getting like really, really sick. Like they're having bloody stool from eating a cantaloupe because they're like salmonella or something. It just makes you want to eat fruit all day. I've never had that problem with steak and eggs. But I'm just trying to figure out how the eggs, the actual eggs, after you cook them, created an issue with salmonella because when you cook food, the salmonella dies, the bacteria dies. So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe somebody knows something more than me. Oh my goodness. That's so good. So when I was at home back in Wasilla, I was having a hard time making over easy eggs. My wife had to make me some. And because I kept breaking the yolk or I was overcooking the egg. That was another problem too. So that was frustrating. Yeah, Oh, let's see. I didn't come to hear you talk. I came to see you eat. I'm eating too. Yeah. And as soon as I'm done, I got to go take a shower and get cleaned up. But anyways, Misty, yeah, my mom said she was looking into it. She's gonna, I guess she tried a variation of the carnivore diet before. I don't know how strict she was. She said she was doing some variation. So hopefully, I cross my fingers. I love the woman. I want her to be healthy and happy and live her life out the best way possible. But I'm 50 years old. I feel like I'm 30 years old. I mean, if there was a fire and I had to run down the street, yeah, no problem. I mean, there's a lot more stuff that I can do now that I couldn't do a year and a half ago. It's just nuts. I mean, it's just hard to believe that this much can change in a person's life in a year and a half. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys have never done this, yes, just sear your steak in a dry pan, salt it. Salt both sides, sear it in a dry pan. Get all the edges nice and crisp. Leave the inside a little bit red. It's so juicy. And I never knew this about, steak. It kind of creates its own steak sauce. And it's amazing. I'm always like dipping my steak in its own sauce because it's got a lot of the salt and everything else. Mm. 14 more. Mm. Yeah, the reindeer sausage. I started out with reindeer sausage even when I was doing the keto diet, and they were working. I was losing weight eating them. There is a little bit of nonsense that goes on inside these reindeer sausage, but it's not that big of a deal. It hasn't really caused me a problem. Black pepper. That was a weird one. Todd at Carnivore Cure brought that up. He said, I removed black pepper and a lot of stuff changed for me. So I was like, man, that guy's rock solid. He's got a lot of super duper advice. So I took it. I got rid of black pepper out of my diet, and I just started feeling better. A lot of the upper digestive feelings that I was having just went away. And once in a while there's some variables in there, but I was adding black pepper to almost everything I was eating. So if I cooked a steak, I'd salt it and then I'd pepper the heck out of it. Apparently that can be a problem for some people, and I'm one of those some people. I believe you, Bubba. But my thing is I'm trying to dial back everything right now for a period of time, and stay pretty much strictly on a BBBE type diet of beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. It's only taken me a month to figure out how to say that right, but because I want to see what else is going to happen. Because so far through this weight loss journey, I've done 5-day eating schedules. So Monday through Friday, I focus on something. So it's either 5 days of some type of fasting or 5 days of some type of specific eating. And they're not all perfect because I'm human. I'm just like everybody else out there. I'm just human like anybody else. I make mistakes. Sometimes I have a craving and I fall for it. There was a period of time in my journey where I was trying to do the carnivore diet as strict as I could. I had a hard time with it. I had a hard time transitioning into 100%. But I was wanting fruit. And according to other carnivores, people that do this diet, there's a phase that you go through that you start craving fruit. I don't know why, because it doesn't help. It's not helpful. It makes really weird looking stools, like white or pale stools, which is typically a sign of a bacterial infection in your digestive system, or it could be the sign of have some sort of other issue going on that's really unsightly. But yeah, it was weird. I mean, my stools were looking really weird, and that kind of freaked me out. I did a lot of research on it, and I didn't like the things I was seeing, but I knew that wasn't my problem. It was just that I was eating the fruits. It was interfering with what the meats were trying to do, and it was creating weird pale stool. So I just quit the fruits for a while. But that doesn't mean I won't have fruits later on in life. It doesn't mean I won't have a piece of pizza later on in life. It just means I'll eat a lot more of this than all that other crap. Because when I first started doing carnivore, I was terrified. I didn't believe anything would work because we've tried everything. You try the Atkins diet, you fail on that. You go down different rabbit holes, and then you wind up doing a yo-yo diet. You gain weight, you lose weight, you gain weight, you lose weight. I've been doing that for the last 20 years, gaining weight and losing weight. I mean, if anybody wants to know how to get fat, I know how to get fat. Doesn't mean I know how to gain healthy weight. But yeah, I was eating garbage. So I was getting fat. And I didn't realize I was eating as bad as I was until I really started digging into ingredients, learning how to read ingredients, learning what most of them mean, and learning if I have to Google search an ingredient, that it's not a good one. So I don't need it automatically. Oh, goodness. Yes. I don't know why people think this is boring. I mean, I got awesome eggs, reindeer sausage, I got a full ribeye steak. It's just like, it's almost like it's got butter on it. I could put butter on it too, but I don't know how anybody could possibly think this is boring unless they just don't like eating animals. And that's just the prerogative. You know, I'm Alaskan Native. I'll eat animals all day long. I don't care what anybody says because it's kind of hard to be a vegan up in no. Now we do have a lot of vegetables here, but man, they're overly priced. Now my history of vegetables is I used to go out and buy a lot of vegetables. I had my fridge just stocked full of vegetables, but we wouldn't eat many of them. A lot of times we'd have to throw away a whole onion or maybe a whole tomato. Almost always the lettuce would go bad, so we'd wind up chucking that out. Mm. Yeah, we don't have a KFC up here. Yeah, I'm in Nome, Alaska, by the way. There is no KFC. We have a Subway here. We have a Subway. We have a Milano's, which serves American cuisine. Really good pizza, by the way. And they also have Chinese food there. And then we have another Chinese restaurant here, because Native Alaskans love their Chinese food. I do too. I used to really, really like it. But traditional, the funny thing is, if you go into a Chinese restaurant and you watch what the employees are eating, they don't eat traditional American Chinese food. They eat really healthy on their own scale type food. They eat a lot of kimchi, fermented type vegetables, a lot of cabbage, maybe a little bit of rice, not a whole plate full of rice. I mean, it fascinates me because the last time I was up here and they were eating their food and I was having pizza. I was like 400 something pounds at that time. I'm surprised I even fit on the airplane. But then I looked over and I was just amazed at what they're cooking. I was like, can I please have some of that? And they're like, oh, sure. So they gave me a little piece of their food. And I was like, wow, that is really good. And yeah, I felt pretty healthy after eating it, even though it was some sort of fermented vegetable. I had a bad time getting my sweet tooth to go away. Any tricks for that work for you? I think a lot of that had to do with my sugar, not my sugar, sorry, my fruit cravings. Because when I was thinking of something sweet, I'd go for like a banana or an orange. I don't know how many oranges I put away. And my problem with a lot of everything has been gluttony. So it's not that I'm just eating fruit. I'm eating a lot of fruit. I mean, there was times where I was eating like a whole watermelon. But something I also found out is that lettuce would trigger sugar cravings in me. If I eat a piece of lettuce, yeah, whatever this roommate of mine had bought for junk food, I'd be wanting to get into it right now. And I'm pretty far along, but I know that now that lettuce, and I'm not the only one that lettuce creates a sugar craving. I had no idea about that, and that other people experience the same thing. Mm. Well, yeah, this is a wonderful way of life. Now I understand why you see so many of these carnivores, raving over ribeyes and tomahawk steaks now. When I first started the diet, I was kind of annoyed by seeing them because I was like, how can you afford that? But when you only buy like ribeye steaks, eggs, and maybe a little bit of sausage, that's all you're buying. Uh, it's really not that expensive. I mean, it's not because this is all you're buying. You're not buying condiments. You're not buying, A1 steak sauce, barbecue sauce, ketchup, mayo, ranch dressing. You're not buying any of that crap when you're eating this way. If you make your eggs right, yeah, the egg yolks, that's a sauce all by itself. And it's delicious on top of that. I'm so happy I bought a fillet knife. I mean, at least when I go home, I can have another knife the wife can use when she goes on her fishing trips. I mean, that's really nice. Let's see, where do I want to cut this thing up at? I don't know if anybody else does that, but I get like halfway through a steak and I just get tired of cutting off the one end. There we go. Now they had a fillet knife at the store that came with a sharpener. I should have bought that one because this one's already starting to get a little dull, but it works better than a butter knife all day long. Let's see, I got some more egg yolk there. There we go. Mm. I had a fatty piece there. I might be chewing on that a little bit. Mm. Hey there, Felix. I appreciate you there. I'm just amazed it's allowing me, the internet up here is allowing me to do a stream at all. Because I spend half the day just trying to reply to comments, and I comment and I make a lengthy comment, um, maybe giving a little bit of advice somebody's asking for, and then it doesn't go through. And then I have to do it again and again. So when I'm in the truck throughout the day, if you get a reply from me, you're really lucky because the internet's just weird here. It goes in and out. But for some reason, since I'm sitting here in this apartment, it's working. But when I first got up here, the internet wouldn't let me do a live stream. I couldn't even get a live stream to start up. It kept telling me some weird thing was going on. I like that Total Tech. Use your hand like a real man. I could, but I gotta touch my camera here, my phone in a little bit. I don't want to get it all yucky. But yeah, got runny egg yolk. But I like your sense of humor. Well, I still work for the same company I was before I came up here. Um, so Bering Straits Native Corporation bought out a whole bunch of stuff. They bought out the company I was working with, and they're like a private entity that works in the background. They also own a company up here that I'm working for, and then I think they bought out a company in town called AIH, which is a popular, like a hardware store that sells a bunch of, safety gear and stuff like that. So we get a super discount there at AIH using their discount. It saves us a ton of money. Bering Straits takes a really good care of their people, and they're trying hard, all the time, every single year to take great care of their people. And I found out before I got up here, I think it was like the day before, or like before I got on the plane, I found out that my mom's a Bering Straits shareholder. Now that's pretty important, especially if you're trying to find housing up here, because that, and then if you already work for the Bering Straits, then you can hopefully get up the list a little further. Because next year we're looking for a home up here. We're probably going to have to settle with like a 2-bedroom apartment and just bring up all our kids and stuff and hope for the best. And that way I can have my family here with me and I don't have to worry about them being so far away. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen in order for us to move here because I own a trailer home in Anchorage. I'll have to sell that or find somebody to watch it for me. And yeah, trailer homes in Alaska, they don't do well when they're vacant. The pipes freeze, you have all kinds of issues, people break in. So I need to figure out what we're doing with the trailer home. And a lot of things, because we got vehicles we got to ship up here. That's in the summer. That's going to cost us money. Plus get them up here, my family. That's going to cost us a bunch of money too. And then whatever stuff they want to bring is going to cost more money. So there's a lot of money going to be invested just in moving, even if we wind up in a 2-bedroom apartment. I missed something there. Felix is talking. Oh, you got a little bit closer there. I've spoken with 2 dietists so far. One unaware of the carnivore diet, other one being pessimistic about the diet. Absolutely, that's totally normal. Everybody should be pessimistic about the carnivore diet because how are we taught for like the last 40 years, 50 years? We were taught the exact opposite of the carnivore diet. Eggs were going to give us a heart attack. Bacon was going to give us a heart attack. Eating too much fatty meat was going to give us a heart attack. We were taught to buy the leanest meat possible. Well, that was the exact opposite of the truth. I mean, we're all out here. Anybody that's doing the carnivore diet has been proving that, all the time. Let's see. She didn't even know the diet. That's hard to believe that anybody that's in the health field doesn't know anything about the carnivore diet. They must live. I would run away from that person. They're not the best person to seek advice from or to get help with. Temp lease. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm not too worried about the lease problem. I just need to find, because housing here is a nightmare. Just trying to find housing here, because there's people wanting to get out of other villages. They want to come live here too. Like I said, Bering Straits wants to take care of their own people, which are the shareholders or the shareholder descendants, which is where I fall in. But, my wife wants to move back up here. She wants to utilize the family camps out on King Island land. That was fun. She did a bunch of videos of her fishing out there. Yeah, it's just so nice out there. Nobody around to bug you. Other people aren't allowed to go there, unless they're King Island descendants or married to. Yeah, so there's a family camp out there. There's a creek there that has salmon. It's got big freaking trout the size of salmon that run up through there. Grayling up here. We got unlimited hunting options up here. Moose season I don't know if it's over, but I know everybody went out and got their moose here in the last week or two. But yeah, really all we need to do is get everything up here, get us up here in Nome, start getting settled, getting ready for the long winter. And I want to get up here. So I have a job anyways here in the summertime. I also have many other job opportunities because there's a lot going on here, in my field for truck drivers. So there's a lot of different things I can do up here, but I need to get up here and get everything going. And that's going to take a little bit of time. That's going to take a little bit of frustrating money I don't want to spend. I'd rather buy a house. I have been looking at the housing market. It's not great. So it's like a battle for property up here. The hospital up here buys a lot of the properties. I found that out. Nome Sweet Homes buys a lot of the properties. They basically gobble it up. As soon as it comes on the market, they try to slip in and get it. And then I believe Bering Straits also buys a bunch of the properties up too, because they have people coming up for work. They need to put people in a place, just like this place right here. This is run by Bering Straits, this apartment building here. So you got to take care of the building. Don't trash it. Don't drink. Tony's a weirdo. What are you talking about, are gay? Are you gay, Tony? I mean, I don't care either way. It's rainbows everywhere for days. Whatever you want. I blame the pesky Canadian trying to escape their government. Like in general, the Canadian citizens themselves are fantastic. It's just a freaking government there that's a, what's his name? Zelensky? I don't know. Maybe Zelensky's, that's Ukraine. Whatever that guy is over there in Canada, that guy needs to go. But since he gets the French-speaking vote most of the time, the French-speaking provinces will vote for him every time, just because he can relate. Trudeau, that was his name. Turd dope. Yeah, Trudeau. Sounds the same. Yeah. That's an appropriate comment there, Felix, by the way. Turd dope. He was trying to say Trudeau. The same thing. Yeah. That guy was a hot mess, especially during the pandemic. He's still a hot mess. He needs to just go away. I really hope that Kamala Harris doesn't get elected. That lady scares me. I mean, you listen to her laugh. She's got the most sinister laugh. I mean, she's like a character in a Marvel movie. Like, ha, ha, ha. It's like, go away with that sound. Nobody liked it when you were, running for office, and nobody liked it when you were doing whatever you were doing before you even started, being seen in presidential office like crazy. Yeah, I don't want to see Kamala Harris win. I wouldn't want to do 4 years of listening to that. And she talks in circles when she doesn't know about anything. She's just constantly coming up with just yada yada poo poo nonsense. It's like, what are you doing? Stop it. Yep. Wow. I'm so happy to be doing this. This works. If you haven't tried the carnivore diet, give it a try. Do it for at least 30 days. Bare minimum, 5 days. And I still recommend people that are new to the carnivore diet start with a meat-based diet. Now, a meat-based diet isn't 100% meats and fats all the time. You can have a little bit of something else, but you really dial back what your little is. And if you keep it further away from processed foods, the better off you're going to be. Because I had a lot of success with a meat-based diet over 100% carnivore type diet. Yeah, it's pretty good there. Total Tech. No, I don't, Felix. I don't. I just use salt right now. The other night I had a roommate here had a special seasoning. I said, I'll try a little bit. So I tried it on one side of the steak. It was pretty good. Now, it made the juice of the steak, the juice after you cut the steak on the plate, it tasted almost like A1 steak sauce after using that seasoning. But there's a lot of ingredients on that bottle. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna dip into it again. Yeah, I wouldn't be too happy with that lady. But the Alaskan vote really doesn't matter. That's why I really laugh when I drive around here and I see signs for either Donald Trump or Kamala Harris or Biden. It's like, our vote doesn't matter up here. We don't have enough electoral votes. The president has already decided before Alaska even finishes voting. And I'm not trying to detour anybody that lives in Alaska from voting, but I'm just saying it really, in the grand scheme of things, my vote when I lived in New Hampshire mattered more than the vote I have here in Alaska. Yes. Now, the nice part about a ribeye steak is almost every part of it is edible. I mean, it's as long as you cooked it long enough. If you don't, then it's not very edible. And it might just be chewy and annoying. Yes, I've heard of Metallica. Absolutely. I grew up with that. Felix, I did not experience water tasting any sweeter. I was already a waterholic before I started the carnivore diet. I was drinking a lot of water when I was doing the keto diet and failing at that. Like I said, I tried almost everything and failed. And it was just so frustrating. The keto diet is such a pain in the butt. And if you're doing the keto diet and you're good at it, I applaud you. I just kept running into roadblock after roadblock, especially when I went to the stores and I saw packages that said keto and I read the ingredients and I'm like, that is not keto. That is the furthest thing from keto. Why does it say keto on the front of the package? But remember when we were all addicted to overly processed foods anyways, a lot of us, we fell for the front of the package labeling, like veggie sticks. That's a good one. I like to use that one. Veggie sticks. Well, there's no vegetable in there. I mean, they use artificial food colorings just to make the colors that way. And then they fry it up in some weird seed oil and it causes you inflammation and it's called veggie sticks. And yeah, there's like nothing in there that's healthy. And there's so much unhealthy stuff in there that it deletes out any possibility of anything being healthy in those. But yeah, crazy. But yeah, the stuff that said keto, a lot of times on the back of the package, it'd be like made out of potato starch. Potatoes aren't exactly keto, are they? I don't think so. And then there'll be like cellulose. It's like, why are you putting cellulose in there? What for? It's almost as disappointing as Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce using high fructose corn syrup. That made me upset. I was like, wow, these guys make a killer barbecue sauce, but they're using high fructose corn syrup. That made me feel a little bit ripped off. I was like, because high fructose corn syrup is a super sweetener. It doesn't take much to make it sweet. But a lot of times when they add high fructose corn syrup, they're adding the majority of it in the bottle, and then they put their spices in there. So almost everything is high fructose corn syrup in these bottles when they should have been using sugar. If they were using natural sugar, you know, they I can bat an eyelash at a lot of things that contain natural sugar, but when I see high fructose corn syrup, no, I'm going to throw you under the bus every single time because that means you're just being cheap. You can't afford sugar. Your company's so broke you can't afford real sugar is what I see. Hmm. Potato, yeah. Now I've heard of people doing pretty well with potatoes, but I also think a lot of these diets really depend on the region for the people. Because I tried a vegan vegetarian type lifestyle, did not work. All kinds of problems, kidney stones. Um, yeah, I was having issues with the oxalate contents of things that I was not aware of that was even a problem until I started learning more about health and nutrition on my own. I mean, you think when you get kidney stones, your doctor would like really start going over oxalates, what they mean, how to avoid them, how to reduce them by cooking. Uh, if you cook your vegetables, you can almost cut a lot of the oxalate content in most vegetables in half. Uh, Garlic, almonds are huge in oxalates. So if you're getting kidney stones and you're eating almonds, stay away from those. Spinach. I used to love spinach. I used to love raw spinach. And, yeah. Now I just don't. I just don't anymore. I'm almost full. And I haven't even gotten to that piece of fat yet. I don't know if I'm going to get through that piece of fat either. Hmm. Yeah, the fast food chains, man, they're always going to come up with a way to manipulate people into thinking their food's healthy. I used to go there and buy like stuff like the McChicken or the grilled chicken at McDonald's. I had no idea that the burger bun contains like over 100 different ingredients, let alone whatever else was in there. I mean, that's a mess. Mm, that's a really chewy piece right there. Well, that's all part of the pre-programming, Felix. We were programmed that fat was bad, animal fat was bad. Trim the fat, get it off, don't eat it. It'll create cardiovascular issues. Well, that's the furthest thing from the truth. Because if that was the case, I would have been dead about 6, 7 months ago, and I just started eating pounds of bacon and hundreds of eggs, hundreds of eggs. By the way, you can lose a lot of weight just by eating eggs alone. Although you don't want to do it for more than 5 or 7 days because eggs do not contain everything a person needs, but it contains a lot of what a person needs. But it also helps you balance out hormones and testosterone levels naturally. Yeah, eggs work really well for that. Okay. Well, okay, guys. Yeah, we've gone about 45 minutes. I want to thank everybody that dropped in today. I mean, this is probably one of the higher view counts that I've had in a long time. I'll take you guys around the room for a little bit, and but I do need to wash some dishes. I got to get ready to go to bed. I'll show you outside what outside in Nome looks like. So, yeah, I'm staying at the Aurora Executive Suites in Nome, Alaska, and you can see the old buildings over there. That's what a typical Nome, Alaskan type house. There's the side by side my good friend Corin lent me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But a lot of these homes are, the unfortunate thing I think is a lot of these homes are kind of abandoned. Um, a lot of them are abandoned in dispute type situations. So you can see a lot of homes that are unoccupied, which is really annoying when you're looking for a home. We're going in my bedroom, and it's pretty plain Jane boring. I should have started some laundry. But yeah, this is the bedroom we got. This is the messiest it's been because I just got done recording. Normally my bag isn't here. But yeah, I try to keep everything hung up. I had to buy those coat hangers because we didn't have any coat hangers. But yeah, it's not a bad little bedroom. So this is what the backside looks like. Now this down here, this is a pot shop. This is gnome grown. It's a pot shop, and people just drive up here to this little window right there, and they pick up their pot, or however they do it here. Now I have a relative that works at a pot shop, and I visited her, and I was surprised that she had to card me just for me to say hello. And that's just one of the rules. You have to card everybody that walks in a pot shop. But you can see the old buildings. Over here to the left, there's a building that's gotten ravaged by the storms. If you can see that one. Wait, there it is. That building there. You see how all the siding got ripped off? That's pretty common to see up here. There's a lot of that. It's a really big place too. Let's see, what is that? That's at least a 3-story building. And then off in the distance is the, I think my mom called it the jetty. But yeah, there we go, guys. Yeah, dinner's done. I'm gonna have to cut it out here. But hey, I want you guys to take care, and God bless every single one of you. Oh, there's my wife. Hi, Real Alaskan Fishing. Hello, my dear. I love and miss you. We made it home. Talk to you soon. Started watching about 15 minutes ago. Awesome. Yeah, I miss you too. If you're still there, chances are she clicked off by now. But let's see. I'm also heading to bed. Okay. Dishes, shower. I'm gonna hit that mattress, and I'm gonna call my wife before I go to bed. That's if I don't, she'll get mad. So I love my wife. My wife is amazing. She's everything to me. All right, guys, you take care. I'll see you next time. We'll do this again if I.